Hey race fans, it's race day, top 5 with me, Frank 5. Mother Nature, that was one of the stories of the weekend, other than obviously fast speeds at one of the fastest racetracks on the NASCAR circuit, and there were two people that got victories. Mother Nature obviously won, but somebody who won the race got to do a rain dance of happiness, and by the way, add a little sense of humor to it, and you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, the man from Kansas. Number 1, Clint Bowyer with his second season of Storehouse Racing continuing on and what has been a strong year for the team. Captured his second win of the season yesterday at the FireKeepers 400 at Michigan International Speedway as he edged out Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, and Paul Menard. Clint Bowyer this season has just gone perfect for him. I mean, last year I really expected him to get to victory circle, but, new team and plus the switch to Ford kind of, put him in a little bit of a tough spot. They couldn't really find, speed to get them into the playoffs. I mean, they had some strong points for the most part of last year, but this year has gone really well for Bowyer, and I couldn't be happier. And I love Clint Bowyer, and, he's one of the funniest characters in the garage. And, when he gets in the race car, though, he can be a little funny, but most of the time he's got to be serious with what he's doing to, put everything together for himself and his team to win and then keep impressing Tony Stewart and Gene Haas, their team owners. But, Bowyer this year, since his win at Martinsville, has just been phenomenal. I mean, literally even before he won at Martinsville, this season for Clint Bowyer has gone perfect. I mean, he's got 2 wins. He's been competitive with Kevin Harvick and the other guys. I mean, he could possibly be a threat to be in that 4th spot at Homestead this year. I mean, we'll see. I know people are probably saying, yeah, well, Clint Bowyer really had a shot at the championship since, he drove for Michael Waltrip Racing in 2012. And that was like Clint Bowyer's last best season. This year, I think it's going a lot better for him, obviously with 2 wins and being strong everywhere we go. So kudos to Clint Bowyer and crew chief Mike Bugaravich, who on the last pit stop of the race before caution for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. came out, which ultimately brought in Mother Nature. They took 2 tires against everybody else's 4. So smart gamble by Mike Bugaravich. Number 2, Kevin Harvick was once again the best car. But unfortunately, with the 4 tires, he couldn't capitalize on passing Clint Bowyer. I mean, it's another strong performance for Kevin Harvick, but, feel consolation for Harvick fans. You really think, what could we have done? Do you think we could have taken 2 tires like Clint Bowyer and Bugaravich did? Or, should we just gone 4 and race them a little bit harder? They were a few feet from getting that lead until the caution for Stenhouse came out. So, you'll have to analyze it, but now you got to go on to the next race. That's basically all you can do is just put on your big boy riches and move on. Number 3, the Fords. Obviously, Michigan is home to the Fords. So Ford and everything, they were strong. I mean, for the majority of the top 10 at the end of the race Sunday, obviously with the winner, Clint Bowyer and Kevin Harvick, the Fords were strong. Kurt Busch won the pole in the majority of the laps until Kevin Harvick started his dominance, and he finished solid 3rd. Paul Menard took a gamble in the middle portion of the race to save fuel and make it to the end and earn stage points, and he finished 5th place for a team that's been good this year, just haven't been getting the finishes, and they got a good run. Ryan Blaney won stage 1, he finished 8th. Joey Logano finished 7th. Brad Keselowski finished 6th. Overall, it was a strong week for the Fords. And even if he hadn't had a problem on pit road, Eric Almirola could have probably been up there for the first Stewart Haas Racing 1-2-3 finish. So it could have been possible, but got to move on, like I said. Number 4, Kyle Larson going for the 4-peat. Didn't go according to plan. I mean, he qualified 26 on Friday, and that didn't go well. But it kept moving on through the field. I think, if you get the whole race in, I think he's got a shot. Unfortunately, off of turn 4 towards the end of stage 2, got loose and, middle portion of stage 2, he got loose and, damaged the front splitter in the grass. So, unfortunate for Kyle Larson. Not going to be able to do 4-peat like Bill Elliott did, in 85 and 86. But, you know what? Kyle Larson's been the best Chevy this year, and it sucks to see that he hasn't been able to capitalize on it yet. He's going to. The big question is when. Hopefully in a few weeks. We'll see what happens with the 42 team. But they have been strong, and they are going to win this year before the season checkered flag waves at Homestead. And number 5, Jimmy Johnson. Just when you think things are going well for him, he turns back to dog meat. Yesterday, I don't think he was in the top 10 at all. He was pretty much 20th to 26th all day. They just couldn't find the speed. Their car was loose. Maybe it was the weather conditions because it was so cloudy yesterday, and plus we had to fight Mother Nature. I don't know what was going on with the 48 car. I mean, even though I don't like Jimmy Johnson, I still feel bad that he's about him this season so far. I mean, just when you think last week went well for him, especially leading laps and having a solid top 10, this week he doesn't run anywhere close to the top 10, on the top 5. So they got to find more work in the 48 car. But luckily, they're going to one of his home tracks next 2 weeks at Sonoma. So hopefully he'll find some luck there. Finally, Chase Elliott, solid 9th place finish. And, we qualified 13th, but we got ourselves into the top 10. I felt like we could earn stage points. You'll never believe what happened towards the end of stage 1 when we restarted with 1 to go. we had a flat left rear tire, and we had to come in and change the tire. Luckily, we stayed in the lead lap, and we kept finding our way back to the front, and we were able to call it 9th place finish when the race was called. I mean, listen, that was nearly a heartbreaking moment for Chase Elliott fans, thinking, "Oh my gosh, we just lost our track position." But you know what? I would have preferred to come in and get tires and change the tires and stay on the lead lap rather than restarting the race with a flat tire and probably wrecking ourselves and everybody else. So smart move. Nothing wrong this time. People blame Alan Gustafson. Not Alan Gustafson's fault. There was debris on the track. We got the tires changed, and we were able to continue. So, good top 10 finish, and we gained a few more points. So, we have an off week coming up, with the exception of Xfinity Trucks. They'll be in Iowa. But in 2 weeks, we go to Sonoma for the first road course race of the season and the last race for Fox Sports. That means, after this, next race in 2 weeks, Mike Joy, Darrell Waltrip, Jeff Gordon, all the Fox guys, they'll still do a race out, but they won't call races anymore for the season. I mean, some of the guys on Fox, will go to the Truck Series, obviously, because they're covered by Fox. But after, Sonoma, Fox Sports leaves, and then NBC comes, and I'll tell you about that in just a few weeks. So, off week for these guys. Can the Chevys find a little bit more speed to compete with Kevin Harvick in the Fords? Or will someone else step up to the plate like Brad Keselowski and Kyle Larson, who have yet to win this year? Or even a Ryan Blaney or an Eric Jones? We'll see what happens. So, off week, people do what you want. Then, next week, time to get back to work. So, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Congrats to Bowyer on a rain-shortened Mother Nature race. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks for some right, left turn racing at Sonoma.